Okay, video number 3 for the day, BDSM, the 3 virtues. The virtues move around quite frequently. This is an early stage of the work. I got a lot of development to do, but I think it's interesting enough to relate. These are the 3 slave girl submissive virtues. And they are obedience, devotion, and penance. So the idea of obedience, and all of these are like, I feel like they're central. I don't know how to explain it. They're central pillars of what I'm trying to create, or what I'm trying to visualize. I think it's maybe a fair mapping of like early BDSM, but the pattern is this, right? Obedience isn't just that you do what you're told. Obedience is this idea of accepting the authority of another. Like, if he says jump, you jump. And you don't ask, like, why am I jumping? Because he doesn't have to give you a reason. Like, the reason is he told you to jump. And it's like, yep, that's perfectly okay. It's a sense of emptying oneself, of being nothing but a tool, nothing but a functionary, part of a machine. And it can actually be very liberating. Religious orders who have strict monastic policies. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing. You're just going through like these same ritual motions all day, but during that time, your mind is able to expand. You know, you can focus on nothing. You can train your mind and perceive things more clearly. Thus there's a benefit to these lives of simple, pointless ritual, a very rich benefit. And I like the idea of that for BDSM. I totally forgot how I got on this point, so I'm just moving on. I do remember how I got on this point, and I am stepping back. Obedience is also emptying oneself, which means that it covers like robot fantasies. There are people who have fantasies about being converted to drones or robots, dolls, just wanting your owner to play with. You know, obviously I spoke about that too earlier. I want to say that obedience is probably the most energy intensive virtue for the dominant, because essentially you're in charge of 2 lives. So you have to, like, if you really want to get into it, like, you have to pick out clothing, you have to, like, sort of control the availability of money, you have to, like, know where they are and when they are. It's, again, I do want to remind people that my general policy on this is 70-30, right? And that's an important limit. Don't forget that. It's fine to, like, do whatever the hell you want to 2/3 of the time. If you're spending the other 1/3 of the time taking a break and talking to each other like people and being like, how did you feel about that? What was up with that, And do not lose that 30%. Like, you need that. That's your anchor. But beyond that, I really feel that it's absolutely fine to go very, very extreme as long as everybody's on board and, is comfortable with what's going on. And you got to be careful because, like, you will find psychological boulders that you didn't know that are there, and all of a sudden they just come surging up, and all of a sudden you're a monster. You got 8 legs, and you're trying to eat people's heads. And it's like that's going to happen. And if that does happen, you got to be kind of like, dude, that's the craft, man. That's the craft. Let's, it's all right. Like, I'm not okay with it, but like, chill out and calm down, and we'll talk about it like tomorrow. Did I give anybody like the 24-hour rule? The 24-hour rule is just that, like, if you have to make like a really big decision, and sometimes there's exceptions for this. Sometimes for businessmen, they get their instincts honed to a point where it's just like they hear it, they know the right answer, bam. Like, that's, for most people, if you're going to do something that you question whether or not it's a good idea, you should wait 24 hours. It's really simple. God damn it. I wish they taught this to schizophrenics. Like, if your brain is like, oh my God, my neighbors are aliens, I need to kill them, just be like, you know what? If they're aliens right now, they are going to be aliens in 24 hours. And if I have to pick up a knife and go out there and valiantly battle for the fate of the earth, right now, you know what? I'm going to chill out for 24 hours. I'm going to watch some TV, maybe get a beer, and we'll see how I feel in a day, Because I guarantee, like, you're going to feel better. Like, the crazy shit passes. The stuff that you got to worry about is the shit that doesn't. Like, that's much scarier. Your hallucinations are just the way that your brain is talking to yourself. It's trying to establish a linguistic base of images with which to speak to you. It's a part of your brain that's operation is too complicated to translate directly into cognitive terms that your present day personality thing can understand. There are ideas that don't fit within the point of focus of personality. I've spent some time exploring consciousness. God, did I tell you about the lens, man? That was a great one. Whew. I think a lot of the reason that I am this way is that I'm a very dominant person, and we've lost that in our society. Like, a man who is controlling is a man who is bad in every media and in every context. God damn it. In BDSM porn, if a guy is dominant, he's bad. Like, I swear to God, I define you to find a portrayal of an ethical sadist in BDSM porn who isn't kind of limp-wristed a little bit, maybe a little too sensitive, if you know what I mean. And I'm mocking because honestly, those guys need they need a kick in the pants, but like, I get it. I totally do. It's what do they say? Teach boys not to rape? And it's like, you'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ, I was thinking about rape last night. Like, I got a little feeling down there. Like, am I a rapist? Like, what are you doing? This is natural sexuality. These people are fully capable, like, 99% of the time, of maturing into ethical sexual beings. Like, stop shaming 8-year-olds. God damn it. Like, yes, it's weird, okay? It is weird, but it's kind of awesome, too. It opens up access to various parts of the mind and personality that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. You can train yourself with very intense experiences and learn faster than you could any other fucking way. Like, I'm not making that one up, man. I do not apply that without consent. You're going to get fucked if you do. Like, don't coerce children into doing this because it'll make them look like, fuck you. Like, how is this complicated? Like, maybe the children should, yeah, maybe you're full of shit. Like, okay, seriously, that's my counter hypothesis. Maybe you're full of shit. I want you to consider it privately, not in front of me. Like, fuck me. I got no business in that part of your life. But I want you to take the null hypothesis, which is you are full of bullshit, and I want you to really think that thing out. I want you to kind of say, like, okay, if I had to convince someone that I was full of bullshit, how would I do it? And, write it all down and then take that paper and burn it before anybody who has any connection to Twitter can even come close to getting their hands on it. But, dude, write it down first and then throw it away. I'm serious. Because, like, Twitter's killing people. Like, seriously. Like, there's no spiritual essence left in these people. They have no imagination. I was hearing the other day about somebody who had no ability to imagine things. It's like, well, so what are you thinking about when you're standing in line? They're like, well, then I'm standing in line. And I'm like, they just go neutral, man. Those people, like, that's mental damage, right? Like, that's not normal. There is definitely varieties. I think normally there are people who have a lot of imagination and people who have very little imagination. People who have no imagination, that's a fucking sign of the apocalypse, buddy. And if that's you, by the way, you should start imagining things as much as you can immediately. Don't, like, 10 minutes a day, spend 10 minutes every day, not more, not less, imagining things. And I think you're going to find your head will explode in a good way. I recommend it. But beyond that, I think we have the first official 10-minute video.